Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And there's a lot going on here, you boys. Well, I've been just having a little break. There seems to be all sorts of things that weren't forecast, that weren't on the programme, such as Mr. Wood struggling, and well, Ernie's not moving ahead, and Carlson's doing wonders. Where's it all going to end, Andrew? And what about Casey?
He always strikes me as a bit of a match play expert,
yeah, well, I hope
prize
so.
fighter.
I hope they all carry it through to next week, when we'll be over at the Ryder Cup at the K Club, because that would be a tremendous boost. They're playing nicely, and of course Montgomery and Howell, they're partners or on the same team next week. They're both playing pretty well. One of them's got to go home, sadly, but the other one won't feel as if he'd been absolutely destroyed. This was an extraordinary little chip from Goosen, who's had a very strange season by his very high standards. Little chip from the back of the green, got to the top of the ridge, down at the bottom, and if this doesn't go in, I think it's all over. We will see a putt or two from Casey, probably. He's got... two putts. Shake of the hand. You've got to be careful. This is quite speedy. Little left to right movement. Anywhere within 18 inches would be absolutely delicious. The winner of this match plays either David Howell or Colin Montgomery. So more Ryder Cup battles, or another, because I don't think Casey's going to lose this match. Well.
Well, if Goosen's not down yet for 4 and he's dormy.
Yeah, well, I don't know why they're playing on in that case. If there's a mix-up with the scoring, we weren't sure what had happened to Casey, but I mean, this is just a total waste of time, because he can miss this, and he's just inquiring. But I've lost count there, Governor. Yes, I thought that's better. Thought it wasn't my arithmetic had gone totally astray. I think that's a very good win with Casey, Andrew.
It was indeed. I think Retief was momentarily slightly confused, but a fantastic afternoon performance from Paul Casey. And he does strike me as just a great match player, a real gutsy competitor, and he makes plenty of birdies, hits the ball a long way, and he's off to a flyer.
Well, out in 29, I mean, I know it's match play, but I mean, he had a 3-2-4, 3-2-3 start. All birdies, one par, an eagle, out in 29. Amazing.
Well, this is Ernie's 3rd shot, having driven it into the right-hand trees, chipped it out sideways. He's got 250 yards to go, and he's still 1 down.
Ernie's not fully tuned either today. McKeel, final match, battling away against Tiger Woods. Oh, fantastic shot.
And Howell was very unlucky with his approach here, pitched at 6 inches from the hole and spun it back off the green. As you can see, a right to left here for his birdie, but it's just missed.
He frightens the hole every time he draws the putter out of the bag. He's one of the best long putters I've seen for a long time.
Of course, won the other big tournament here this year, the BMW Championship. In fact, if he were to win this week, he'd become the first man to do the Wentworth double since his opponent, Colin Montgomery, in 1999. And Monty is facing a huge putt here. And possibly the fiddliest, trickiest green on the west course as well. Looks flat, but it lies.
Well, this is the third consecutive green that Montgomery has had a putt to take the lead. Is it third time lucky?
Yes. One up, 2 to go. His honour at the 17th. Must get a good drive away. Put pressure on your opponent.
Three down, Tiger. And his opponent close.
Tim Clark to win the hole at the 10th. And he rolls one in, back to 3. Good putt to hold there. There's Campbell, 2 up, a couple of holes to play. Casey wins 6 and 4. Carlson holding firm at 4 up, and the hole's running out for Furyk. Unless Carlson has a dramatic collapse, he should go through. Weir got things under control. And what can we say about the end match, the bottom match? The number 1 in the world, Tiger Woods, against fellow American McKeel. It's 3 up. They're playing the 9th. It'll be a great recovery from Woods or a collapse from McKeel.
Well, Ernie's 4th shot, he is a master out of sand, but he really does need this to force Angel Cabrera to putt.
Well, it's beautifully played. Difficult shot, all downhill. Well, when you look at the positions at the moment, it's more than possible we're going to lose 2 or 3 of the best players in the world on this opening day. And that's not what was bargained for at all.
You consider Woods and Furyk, who teamed up so well in the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup. The numbers 1 and 2 in the world, and they're almost certain to be playing together. Foursomes are 4 balls in the Ryder Cup as well. And they could be heading home.
They could well be heading home, which I presume they would. Well, I don't know. Today's Thursday. They've got to be back in Ireland on Monday. Might stay and give a few lessons. Cabrera, 2 putts to go, 2 up, and he only needs... Oh. 2 up, Cabrera.
With McKeel 10, 12 feet away. Great view of almost a must-hole birdie putt for Tiger.
No, big swing. The greens have fooled him. He's not got the measure of them at all today. He's only held 1, maybe 2 putts of any consequence at all. Big chance for McKeel here to go. Even if he doesn't, he just... if Tiger's not birding and McKeel's not dropping shots, the holes run out. Suddenly it's time to shake hands.
Just 1 birdie in the front 9 for Tiger Woods. In the top match, Simon Khan. Perhaps time running out for the young Englishman.
Losers today take home £60,000, which is not a bad day's work for getting beaten. Yeah, it's a pretty good shot from an awkward spot. He's there for 3. He's 2 down.
So to go 4 up against the Tiger. It's got a weak effort.
Seem to be more borrows than ever. I don't know whether the greens are that much faster. I don't think so. They're about their normal tournament pace. So they have 9 holes to play. Tiger 3 down. Up to match number 1.
Campbell may well close things out here. Well, he should do. Just short of the front of the green and 2 at this par 5.
And if he gets down in 2, that'll be the end of it. I would think that may be... Oh, he's thinking about it. No, maybe not. They both played 3. Khan must hole, and even if he does, Campbell has a little putt to win the match.
Well, Colin Montgomery is miles into Hollybush on the right of 17, just assessing if he's got a shot or not. David Howell is meanwhile down the middle, so a critical decision to be made by Montgomery.
Is in the depths, the winner of that match playing. Well, it will be Michael Campbell. Simon Khan is doing his damnedest to keep it going.
No, that's been a poor game, in all honesty. Defending champion Campbell, he'll be relieved to go through. Simon Khan, and he's a good player, Simon, but too many elementary mistakes. Only 4 birdies between them in the 2 rounds, or the 35 holes played. And at this level, that really isn't very good. But the defending champion Campbell goes through, and tomorrow is certainly another day. He wins 3 and 1. And we'll play the winner of the match coming up behind, as Howell or Montgomery.
Robert Carlson 4 up, 9 birdies this morning, an approximate 64. Poor old Jim Furyk didn't know quite what had hit him. But it was a big Swede in pink trousers. Salmon pink?
That's sort of the, yeah, tin salmon. Could be. Oh, just, again, just shorter pace.
Equidistant, McKeel and Woods.
Well, are we going to see a remarkable comeback by Woods over this final 9 holes? Will McKeel hold up? This is one of the fascinations of this game. McKeel, you must remember, is a very experienced player, but hasn't won all that many events. Tiger Woods has won everything 4 times over. But if McKeel can just keep his nerve at this moment, the way things are going, I think he's the winner.
The man in black is Luke Donald. Oh, inches, millimeters. Switch from imperial to decimal. Is that Gary Player-esque? Just goes quietly about his business. Both these players do, Donald and Clark.
Bit of watery sun comes out. It's been a funny sort of day. This morning it was very heavy and sultry. Tim Clark. Has he? No. Maybe put I fancy he slipped the wrong trousers on this morning, Clark. They look at the whisker too long for him. I think he could do with my little seamstress lady in Farnham. There's about 3 inches too much material in those, and the crutch looks a little low. Probably made for David Thomas or somebody. Make millions and they can't get a pair of trousers that fit. I find that quite amazing.
Third shot from Montgomery. He amazingly managed to extricate it from the holly bush to here. He's got a 3-wood, well over 300 yards to go, just going for position.
Not a great position, just off the fairway.
Well, we did say when he held that putt at the 16th, he had the honour, and the job he had to do was get the ball on the fairway, put it in the holly bushes.
Tough shot for Howell, 290 yards, feet above the ball, needs to move it from right to left.
Good shot. Well, he's there in 2. Montgomery's back up the hill for 3. Montgomery 1 up. Looks as if it's going to be up the 36th hole, maybe extra time. Used to be you played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and went out into the country. A couple of matches got to about hole number 5, but now it's 1, 2, 17, 18, sudden death. If matches are all square after 36 holes.
I have in my hand a piece of paper which gives such facts. Michael Campbell in 2002 beat Nick Faldo at the 43rd.
41st, was it?
43rd.
43rd.
That's almost getting to the halfway house again.
That's a long way out, isn't it? See, Adam's got 3 down, just a handful of holes left to play. He's in desperate trouble. Hugely talented, the number of greatly talented young men players about that they lack consistency. Oh, look at this. That was a bit of a good break. That's 3 shots he's had. Take that away and burn it.
One last week in Singapore, Weir on the green 2. Adam Scott. He's hoisted himself up to 5th in the world, Adam Scott, now.
Amazing. Woods 3 down. Needs to start holding some of these, and that's not in. So again, McKeel with the luxury of rolling it down to the hole side. If it falls in, he goes a further ahead, and if it doesn't, if he 2-putts, he still remains very much in control of the match as the holes run out. But he can't afford to do anything sloppy. This to go 4 up. Sliding away. Right, that'll do. Another hole ticked away. Three up, 8 to play.
Shot number 4 for Monty at the 17th. He is 1 up. And he has, again, just to try and make David Howell keep on working for this hole. But it should go the way of the Englishman.
Carlson 4 up. 5 to play. That looked a nice rhythmical swing. He's a big tall for about 6'5", 6'6". A little bit wide, but on the top level.
Now this match could also end here. Mike Weir 3 up on Adam Scott, and this is the 15th green, and this is a putt.
Not an easy one though. Quite a bit of swing, a lot of pace coming down the hill. I think he'll be He won't be disappointed if he 2 putts, because there's still work for Scott to do. That looks a good speed. Yeah, beautiful. I think we'll give you that one. So this has got to go in for Master Scott.
He did a good finish at the USPGA, and of course he won the Players' Championship a couple of years ago over in Florida. But he has such tremendous potential and talent, Adam Scott. He is still a young man, certainly the youngest in the field here, 26, but whether he's a major champion in waiting.
Well, we keep saying that, but Tiger had already won about 5 majors by the time he was 26. I know you're comparing, you know, at the moment the greatest player around, but they lack consistency. Good putt. Excellent putt. Keeps things alive, but that was for a half.
Weir remains freer.
A par putt. Montgomery 1 up on David Howell, and he is going to make David Howell work for it. He's been in a holly bush and in the rough and in the hole for 5.
That's a very good par 5 from Montgomery. He's getting that sort of slightly gaunt look under the eyes, which we've seen often when he's in these match play situations. Looking up at the scoreboard, seeing how everyone else is doing. Howell he missed one last week, didn't he, to get in that playoff of the week before, a tiddler like this.
Germany.
Yeah. He holds a tremendous amount of putts, but these little ones can get away from you.
He did say that rattled his confidence in the putting, that little tiddler to get into the playoff, because it is his stock and trade, holing putts.
Well, it was no longer than this. This looks about, well, it's under 4 feet. Keep it inside the hole. Yeah, it's well done. All square, up the 36th.
We said that match might go all the way, and so it is proving. Furyk to win the hole against Carlson at the par 3 14th.
No, now Carlson's left. You can see his marker there. About a yard, maybe a bit more. He's seen it all. I've been coming here since 1964. Saw Palmer win. Good man, right in the middle. This opening round for Carlson will do him a power of good. He's won a couple of times this year, might have won more. Fell at the last fence a couple of times, but it'll do his confidence a lot of good if he can just close the match out. There we are, Campbell, 3 and 1. Now look at Cabrera, he's gone to 3 up. Looks as if Ernie might be strolling home and giving the dogs a walk tomorrow instead of playing in this event. Carlson 4 up, Weir 3 up. Casey, tremendous victory, 6 and 4. Goosen, it must be said, out of sorts a bit. Luke Donald 3 up.
175 yards to reach the top level here on the 14th. 7 iron for Angel.
Just a little, it's not absolutely flat. He wonders why they're not dancing about with joy. And that's a very tricky little chip. We saw Goosen from a little bit further away chip it a bit strong and end up at the front of the green. else. Disenchanted. And that's why he's on the bottom level. Just hasn't worked for Ernie today.
Sean McKeel rather skied his drive on the 11th, and he's left himself hopelessly out of position. He's got 147 to a flag that he simply cannot see. And with an 8-iron, he's got to go.
Straight in the bunker. Now this is just the sort of thing he did not want to do, because if Tiger suddenly finds a bit of form, holds a couple of putts, finishing line almost in sight, and he's struggling.
Montgomery is testing tee shot down 18, 3 bunkers left, 1 right.
Sit down.
Well, where was the fade when he needed it? Now Howell had the honour. I know not where he's gone.
David Howell had the honour on this tee and didn't really take advantage of it. Pulled it left of the 2 bunkers on the left-hand side, and he looks as if he's nestled down in a piece of fairly thick rough.
Tiger from position A. Well, might get in. It's all about spin control on this 11th hole. He's left himself an uphill and Sean McKeel in the sand. Now, if you get back to 2, psychologically, it always seems a lot smaller than 3.
Yep, and of course the old saying, 2 out before. 2 out before never won a game. It's an often misquoted thing. It means that just because you're 2 out and 4 to play, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a walkover win for you. And it's strange in how many games are not won with someone 2 out and 4 to play, and the opposition holds a couple of putts and snatches victory. McKeel, if he can get down in 2, it'll make Tiger's got to get birdies, and McKeel has not got to get bogeys.
That's a good job. He's a left-hander. Adam Scott just kept the game alive at the last with that 20-footer.
Trouble to trouble. Now that could be an awkward one for a left-hander.
Ball's just settled in the bunker a little for McKeel. He's not going to get much spin on it, but it's not a difficult shot. Just splash it up there. It's well below the hole. Should release a little.
Adam Scott at the 16th. And Mike Weir in the sand. Scott spinning away.
Now he's got to rely on Weir taking 3 to get down from the bunker. Back to the big fella, Carlson. 4 ahead, playing the number 2 in the world, Jim Furyk. Good sound swing, straight back, straight down. Push a bit right, no good.
Well, half will do there for Carlson, but that may be beyond him.
Yeah, he was nearly a club short there, Andrew, too. He could have fired that right in the middle of the green.
Well, there's a lot of grass behind the ball here for David Howell in his second, just playing for position.
rough to rough. Now, if Montgomery's got a reasonable lie, he might be able to get as much as a 4-iron or something like that. Maybe not as much as that, but it's possible to whip one out of the bunker to within 30 yards of the green.
Now, to get within 2 as his shadow appears.
It's been one of those days, Andrew, hasn't it? He's had a lot of putts that look as if he'd struck them well, and he just can't find the hole.
So I'm interested to hear what he says about these greens after the round. Good greens, but fiddly greens, tricky greens.
Well, he's just not been able to see the line. I don't think he could complain about either the texture or the quality. It's just he hasn't been able to hold the putts.
Well, Montgomery's already been in the bunker with a 5-wood in his hand, which I thought was going to be an exceptionally risky play. The ball's lying quite nicely, but his feet are way above the ball, which makes it very hard to control. He's consulted with Alistair, his caddy, and I think that he's going to try and do what Howell was attempting. Just play for position, leave himself something like 70 or 80 yards in for his 3rd.
Well, he's still undecided. I don't think he should be taking more than a 6, a 5 or a 6.
Back there in just a minute. McKeel now for the half.
That was a big putt, Andrew. That could be the winning putt as far as McKeel is concerned.
And I think that Montgomery's following your advice, Peter. He's gone down a club. He has to get the ball up quickly. Made good contact.
Yeah, that's a good shot. There he is, 30, 40 yards short to green. Very good position. Advantage Montgomery.
And the sun is shining weakly on the west coast again. Now here is Mike Weir, another player who is dormy. 3 up with 3 to play, but Adam Scott may have another chance.
Yeah, this is what happens in match play. Players get into what appears to be an unassailable position, and then they do silly things. By that I mean they drop strokes to par and lose holes.
As Peter was saying, a great save from McKeel at the last there. That sand save. It's the first time that either player's been in a greenside bunker in this match.
Sounded nice. Woods has had 34 putts this morning, and he's had 20 putts this afternoon after 11 holes. So you can see he's not hold anything.
This is what the crowds have come to see. Tiger, Big Timber. Hurrah.
Found the fairway just on the left-hand side this morning, but we weren't sure initially because the wall disappeared below the surface. But it flew a long way.
Oh dear. Where's that?
It's in the trees, right?
No, on the fairway, right. But he's not far away from those 2 little yellow poles where the new little drainage ditches come out. It's not in a bad position. I don't think he really caught it flush. But he's got a good line into the green. We'll go and have a look at Weir to win the match at the 16th.
The end has been coming for a while for Adam Scott. Mike Weir has been in control of this match throughout, and in his own quiet, methodical way, he sees off the challenge of one of the most talented players in the world. And Mike Weir into the last 8.
Andy McPhee, the referee, stalwart of the professional tour.
There's a gasp of frustration from Howell. And that's why that's a long way from the flag down the slope. Just thought it might turn over a little bit more coming out of the rough.
Well, that's opened the door a little bit for Montgomery. We'll drop back to Carlson. Remember, he put his second shot in that bunker up top left.
Will definitely advantage Montgomery here. 40 yards, plenty of green to work with.
Superb pitch from Montgomery. Ian Patterson there at the back in the dark clothing from the RNA, who's with us on when we broadcast the Open Championship. He's our rules man. Well, now pressure right back on Howell, and you have to say, well, Montgomery almost home. Although we've seen putts of that length missed, but when we show you where Howell is, right at the top left-hand side of the green, he's got one of the most awkward putts. Not only the distance, but the line and the speed. All of 12, all of 36 feet.
All the matches coming to their ends, and these are both par putts for Carlson and Furyk. But it really is Robert Carlson in control, for he is also 4 up with 4 to play.
Well, he's only had 2 birdies this afternoon, having had 9 this morning. Furyk's only had 3 birdies this afternoon.
This is to win. What a win it would be against Jim Furyk. Won the Canadian Open last week. Now the new world number 2.
That'll do. That is a very fine win by Carlson against a very much improved. He's been a good player for a long time, Furyk, but he's come roaring through the last 12 months or so, and that will do Carlson a tremendous amount of good for next week's matches in the Ryder Cup.
Well, line, but more importantly pace for David Howell. Colin Montgomery 3 feet above the hole. Here's this very, very wide putting stance of David Howell, and a putt which almost has to drop.
Not a bad line, just a bit right. Very good putt if you had 2 putts to win. And Montgomery has a little putt to win the match, and that will set him up for a game against Michael Campbell. They'll be first off tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Paul Casey will play Mike Weir in the second match, and Carlson will play the winner of Alliss and Cabrera. Well, a good fight back from Montgomery. He was at his shaky moments, and a good battle between the 2 Ryder Cup colleagues. Howell had his chance to hold a lot of big putts, did David. So perhaps Montgomery was slightly the more deserving winner, because 2 or 3 of the putts Howell held were almost obscene.
Sean McKeel out with his hybrid 5-wood from 226 yards, second to the 12th.
He's looking rather fondly after it. Stunning shot from Sean McKeel. He is not wilting under the fixed stare of this man. How can Tiger respond? Poorly.
Strange, isn't it? He's pushed that away right, miles right. It's almost as if he doesn't like match, but I don't know what it is. You can try and analyse it time and time again, but he's not happy.
Now, Colin, that was quite a tussle out there. Great start and fast out of the blocks this afternoon.
I was, yeah, 4 under after 5, and you know, got 3 up, and then it was all going swimmingly well until David decided to start putting the way he does normally, and he held a great putt on 6 for the win, and a 60-footer on 7 and a 50-footer on 9. I thought, oh God, here we go. But I managed just to hang on. You know, I was never down all day, and I was one of these classic games that I felt if it had gone to the 37th, the only time it had been up would have been on that time. So I'm glad I played a good last hole, a good drive actually, and it just ran straight through into the bunker. That was 300 yards. I must be getting older or longer my old age. But yeah, good game, and he's a fine competitor, and of course will do well next week.
And talking about the putting, you're looking very comfortable now, having gone back to the short putter.
Yeah, am I?
Yeah.
I don't feel it over the ball. I don't feel it. You know, you
don't tell anybody.
No, not tell anybody. Hit a shot in there at the last, and you're left with a 3-footer right to left. It's quite comfortable, so that was okay. But a little more comfortable. Yeah, I'm glad I hold the 1 on 17. That was key for me to play the last. I know some people might have thought I'd given him the putt on 17, but it still have to be hold, and I'm glad I hold that for a 5 on 17. It gave me some confidence, and you know, I'll look forward to tomorrow now.
Thanks a lot, and good luck against Campbell.
Thank you.
And the sun is shining, all is right with Monty's World. Still not entirely happy with his putting. Tim Clark will never give up, never go away. Little South African, and this for a birdie against Luke Donald. Despite his large trousers, he's coming back.
Really tough shot, 3rd shot at the 12th for Tiger. Big clump behind the ball, it's sitting tight.
Well, a little bit of magic from Tiger there, that was sitting down, and you could see the way he fizzed the club under the ball. Got it within 6 feet.
That birdie from Tim Clark, and suddenly Donald has this to remain 2 up.
Only needed hitting.
And suddenly this match is looking very, very close indeed. 2 great competitors, Donald and Clark. They may be here for some time.
Cabrera at the 15th. Little flip up from the edge of the green. Gallops away, turning left. Not bad. 6.5 out of 10. Both members of the committee.
A round of... This has been a round of missed chances for Ernie Els. Chances at 9, 10, 11 all went. Finds himself 3 down. This to win the hole, though.
First putt I've seen hole.
But what, I mean, you hold a 10-yard putt down the hill when you need it. I mean, that's very, very nicely done. Now this to win the hole for McKeel at the 12th, and he hasn't. Yes, he has. He hit it hard enough. That's an eagle 3. And Tiger turns for home. 4 up.
Time to pluck an eagle from the air.
I remember years ago, you know, when my first Ryder Cup, Harry Wheatman was, I think, 5 down, 4 or 5 down at this point against the great Sam Snead, and Sam suddenly lost it. He drove everything in the trees, and Harry went on the last hole, which is one of the most amazing collapses of all time.
So there's a situation. The defending champion and the #1 seed Michael Campbell is through 3-1 against Simon Cann. It was nip and tuck, but Campbell wins the day. It was pretty scrappy. Montgomery, excellent play, particularly in the early part of his second round today. He's prevailed by 1 hole. Casey, fantastic victory over the world number 6, Retief Goosen, 6-4. Mike Weir, he's been here 4 times before. This is his first victory. I'm sure he'll be very delighted about that. 3-2 over Adam Scott, the man who flew in after retaining his Singapore Open title just at the weekend. Robert Carlson, as Peter was saying, that is a marvellous victory over the world number 2, Jim Furyk, 4-3. Cabrera, excellent progress against Ernie Els, a man who hasn't been beaten in this championship since 2000. And it's Tim Clark of South Africa who's really coming back at Luke Donald now. Only 1 hole between them. And Sean McKeel, it's his debut here. Could he be on the verge of something very special against the world number 1? Back to the 16th and Big Ernie.
Find the fairway, trouble left, new bunker up the right. Good. It's a strange hole, the 16th. The tee aims sort of left. You can always see it from here. See the edge of the left-hand tee is pointing at this fellow in the white shirt. So many players come too far left or hoik it in the trees. If you tend to line up along the direction the tee faces. Cabrera with a 2-iron, I guess, 1 or 2 iron, fires it up the fairway, and that also is excellent position.
I'm going to take my leave and leave you in the company of Peter Alliss and also now Ken Brown.
Thank you, Andrew, and welcome, Ken.
Thank you, Peter. It's going to be an interesting hour or so. Is Ernie going to go out? Is Tim Clark or Tiger Woods?
Well, Clark held a big putt on the last hole, and a bit shy on that one. Well, there are a few surprises there, Ken. There's a couple already that matches that haven't the way I thought. There's a fascination for those. We've had a couple of emails. What's happening at the 17th? Well, you remember the house at the end, which everyone thought was awful, that sort of nouvelle cuisine or whatever it is you call it, house that nobody loved. Well, they knocked that down and got into trouble. The one next door, the black and white one, which I thought was lovely, somebody's bought it, knocked it down and decided to build another one. That's the one with the little chalet in the corner behind that weeping willow with a lawn on the roof. It's a sort of Swedish place where people go and take their clothes off and beat each other with laurel leaves and throw buckets of water on hot coals and do all sorts of strange rituals. But it's amazing, isn't it? That's the one next door. They're now growing tomatoes on the site.
Donald to win the 14th.
Had a good tee shot there too. Funny, I remember, Ken, watching David Graham won this great championship. He held putt after putt after putt. So did Marco Mira. Hazell Irvine had a run here, and before that Palmer and Neil Coles held putt after putt. And nowadays you have seasons, you have times. We have 2 events here a year when you don't see any putts hold at all, and I have no idea why.
I remember when Bob Charles played Gene Little.
Bob Charles, that was another one. Amazing. Every green somebody hold a putt. And that's looking down on the 16th, little angle of the fairway. And there's a short middle iron up to the green. The 2 new bunkers show up well today, don't they, on the left-hand side? Els and Cabrera.
Same pin positions morning and afternoon, so they know the pin is in the tucked in the front right corner.
So many times we see 5s at this hole, Ken, and it's a very innocuous look. You really don't see much of the green from where the players drive. You see top half of the flag, and there's a lot of spin on this green. It's tilted a little bit from back to front. And over the back of the green there's a big hollow and bushes at the back.
Well, the flag position here is only 8 paces on, 4 off the right-hand side. 99 yards to go for the Argentinian. He nearly holed his second shot here this morning. What would he give for that now? Just a sand wedge for him. Like Peter was saying, he's got to get this one past the hole because he's created an awful lot of spin with his iron shots today.
Great thing, though, he's 2 up and 3 to play. He's got to find nothing fancy. Just make the other fella get a 3. Don't take 5. Get it up within 20 feet of the hole at worst, like that. Now he's relentless. He's not giving Ernie a sniff. Now Ernie's got to play one inside. Ernie's got to get a 3. He's got to miss. Otherwise, he's 2 down, 2 to play.
173 to the flag with a 7-9 for McKeel. 13th.
Well, that's okay. Would have liked it, obviously, 6 or 7 yards closer, but not bad.
Well, Ernie, 2 down. His partner very close to the flag. 98 yards, just a sand wedge for Ernie. And his second shot this morning was over. Be good for that now.
Well, he was absolutely stone dead this morning. That's too much spin. No.
Same shot that Tiger had this morning, exactly the same yardage, 151. He went beyond the flag this morning. 2-putted it for a 4.
Go on, get close.
Well, the bookmakers will be giving it a half in 4. That's what they'd be predicting.
Well, there'll be a huge disappointment if Tiger Woods is beaten in this opening round. There'll be much jubilation from the supporters of McKeel. But we've seen so little of Tiger here at Wentworth. He's played once, got to the final, was beaten by Mark O'Meara, but well, he'll be over in Ireland next week for the matches there, the Ryder Cup, and then up at the Grove in 2 weeks' time for the American Express event there, which is a limited field, which will be very interesting. But he's not clicked today, and I have no idea why. He's had a lot of good looking putts that have sort of edged by the hole. He's holed nothing. He's hit the ball pretty well. Not quite as close to the flag as we've seen him on occasion, but he's played well enough to really have won or put up a better show. He shouldn't be 4 down. He's 72 this morning, out and 34 this afternoon. He's only 1 under par for the round this afternoon. 2 birdies, had a 2 at the second and a 4 at the par. Well, we gave him that putt at the 12th.
Bit frugal on the birdies, isn't he? He's only had 5 birdies, Tiger.
Yeah, not like him at all. Now this has got to go in. This has to go in, really. Cabrera's got a putt of about 7 or 8 feet. So if Ernie misses, Cabrera will have a putt for the match. At the worst, unless Ernie holds, Cabrera's going to be 2 up, 2 to play.
Should know the green.
Yeah, he only lives 100 yards away from this point. Good looking putt. Isn't it the most ridiculous game you ever saw in your life? He potted one at the last and he's done it again, but is it too late? Is it too late, Ernst, my boy? That ball looked as if it ran absolutely dead straight, Ken. Probably didn't, but it looked as if. So many of the putts here, if you hit them straight all the time, you seem to hold more putts. Cabrera's got to do the same. Will he have the confidence to hit this pretty straight at the hole?
McKeel 4 up. Up the slope. A little bold. Rolled nicely on the surface.
Now Cabrera to halve the hole and stay 2 up. Pushed it. He pushed it, aimed it down the right, whatever he did. Well, that's a huge bonus for Ernie Els, who's got the honour, must hit the fairway at the 17th. 1 down, 2 to go. How often have we seen this scenario?
And he hooked this morning, remember? He had a bit of a hook off this tee into the left-hand trees, yeah.
And, well, of course, we've seen so many things happen. You can win these 2 holes with 2 pars. You can win them with 2 birdies. We've seen people lose them to 2 birdies. We've seen them people finish 3-3 here, which has been done, if memory serves me right, on 4 different occasions.
Starting to become crucial that Woods holds a couple of putts, and this would be a timely time to do it. Left to right. No, that's not going to turn that much.
He just hasn't found the line. Now they're both about equal distance. Tiger might be a little bit nearer. Maybe not. Putt, putt, give, putt, putt, I think.
I think Tiger can afford that at this stage.
There's an optical illusion in it. You thought the other fellow was certainly. Tiger thinks not. Now this is a tweaker, Ken. Just right of centre, no more, with a little bit of speed in it. Good putt now. Keel's got a tricky one.
Yes, it's going to break it a little bit right to left. But he's been very good at holding out all day today. Really hasn't given Tiger a chance to get back into it.
Well, this is a crucial one here, Julian. This has got to go in. And he's suddenly thinking about it. You see an extra thing, a fly on the wrist. Nothing like a fly on the wrist. And now you've got to settle again. We're keeping you up.
He's definitely thinking about it.
He is. There's doubt in his mind. Well done. Regrouped. Hole halved.
4 up, 5 holes left to play.
Short walk across to the next tee and uphill the par 3, the last of the par 3s.
Well, Cabrera's smashed another drive way down the 17th, but unfortunately this is going to be Ernie's provisional tee shot. He's hooked his first ball, so this is his provisional ball. This would be 3 off the tee if his first ball is left and in the trees.
He's done it again. I wondered why, how he wasn't driving first. He must have been driving first. I didn't realise he'd hooked it out of it. Looks as if he might have done it again.
Oh, he's done it again. He's going to be shaking hands.
Well, that may be a ricochet out of the trees. These 2 fellas here are the spotters. Well, what an anticlimax that was. Cabrera's got a good one away, did you say, Paul? If Paul's still
yes,
there.
Cabrera's smashed 1 miles down the fairway.
Well, in that case, he deserves it. I don't know what Ernie's. Oh, Ernie's just getting a shout from down below whether either of those balls are in play. There's one in the privet hedge, unplayable, and one up near the swimming pool, and that could be all over. Well done, old buddy. Well, what an anticlimax. Els holding 2 very good putts on the 15th and the 16th, and well done, Cabrera. His temperament has been a little bit frail over previous years, but over the last couple, he's really played golf at the highest level, and Ernie going backwards and home.
Ladies and gentlemen, hole conceded. Angel Cabrera wins the match 2-1.
The big hitters, the Wentworth specialists. It's Angel Cabrera that slips through. Just made a few more birdies. Wins 2-1.
Well, my picks are going to the wall. I picked Woods to win. I thought Else would win.
Clark putting in a real flurry at the finish here. Down the slope at the 15th for a 3. Run away.
He's done it.
Oh, you little devil, you. The bird is at 10, 12, 13 and 15.
Same shot as this morning, 6-iron. That's all right. That's pretty flat. He's only about 20 feet, 18, 20 feet from the hole. Four up, 5 to play.
Tiger had the right club this morning, which I think was a 6-iron, and I think he's probably got the same again.
McKeel's just off the green, Julian, about a yard off the green, maybe 18, 20 feet from the hole. So he's still got, you know, simple little, you can either putt it or play a little chip to the hole side, so he looks safe enough for a 3 unless something terrible happens.
No wind this afternoon, or virtually none. There was quite a strong breeze behind this morning.
Well, if that's a 6 and he's clattered it, it may be too far. But no, yes it is. Well, no, got the bite. This is the final match with McKeel, the American McKeel, very much in control.
No, he's not going to give up. He's like sort of stamping on a beetle. He always keeps sort of wandering off, no matter how often you tread on him. You've got to finish Tiger off.
Well, that's disappointing for Luke Donald, because he played a superb iron shot at the previous hole and another one here and missed both putts. But well done to Clark. He holed his, and their match now is all square with just 3 holes left to play. What about that? Just the one on the left-hand side. Isn't that extraordinary? I wonder how many of you picked those as likely winners for the day. Not many, I bet.
Sixteenth, it's 383 yards.
There's a bunker up there.
Right for us.
Oof.
Match all square.
Simplicity itself. Now, has he got it straight, or has he pushed that one a bit? Well, side by side, they're following each other religiously.
I thought for a moment McKeel was going to chip his shot at the 14th, but he's got the putter out. He's got 6 feet of fringe grass to go across. It's pretty smooth and closely cropped. But he's 4 up with 5 to play, including this one. If this should hit the flag and drop, pressure on Tiger.
Well, I think if he gets it close enough to be conceded, if it doesn't go in, that's enough pressure. I reckon if he keeps his game going, Tiger's got to get 4 birdies in the last few holes if he's going to keep going. That won't be conceded, I'm sure. I'll be surprised if it is.
It looked like there were a couple of spike marks.
Did, yeah.
Blemishes just in front of his ball.
Did you notice that putter he was using? That looked like an Old Faithful of years ago, Ken, didn't it? The old Wilson, one of the most famous putters in the world, made so by Arnold Palmer. 8801 or something. Had numbers on in those days. We'll see it when he putts again. But Tiger, is he putting? No, he's chipping now here. Now there's confidence for you. Look, he's no more than a yard off the green and he's chipping rather than putting.
Don't be surprised.
He fancies this. My golly. Beautifully played. The timing of the shot is so delicious. Conceded now. McKeel once more. Once more, he has one of those.
I wonder if these little spike marks are in the way at all.
Well, they certainly were visible. There was something there, wasn't there?
All the greens were shaved again at lunchtime, so it's amazing if there are any spike marks there.
Yeah, we got 3 or 4. Obviously looks like the marks from steel studs. And he rolls it in nicely. And another hole is halved. 4 up, 4 to play. Dormier, as the French would say. Still worried about his trousers, Ken.
Yeah, they're like a wick.
Oh, well, I'll have to work that out. He's played well, though, young Master Clark. Oh, steady. Not bad. Well, it's better than not bad, isn't it? Good shot. That traffic you can hear, the hum of the traffic. It's the A30. Which used to be the main road, sort of down from London to the West Country, down towards Southampton. Then they put the M3 in, and everyone thought the traffic would go up there. And I think this road's as busy as ever. Through Virginia Water and Sunningdale, on to Campbell.
McKeel, the confident man, now out with the driver. This is where Tiger encountered problems this morning. Hit it way into the trees on the right-hand side, found a deep ditch. Could only just, well, penalty drop it out and then hack it up the fairway.
Must keep it out of the bunkers, out of the trees. 250, 60 yards down the fairway. A relatively modest drive would be perfect. He's slightly anxious. This is why he's played it between the bunkers again. Would you believe it? He did that at the 16th this morning. It's a nice line into the flag from there. Now, Tiger won't have the drive round, I'm sure.
He hasn't, the 3-wood. But he's got to produce something absolutely miraculous now. And it hasn't looked like happening all day, really.
Well, you're thinking he's got to finish 3-3-4-4 if he's going to, if 3-3 will win him a couple of holes. He's, the 4-4 might do it, or 3-3-4-3. It's been done. It's all been done before, believe you me. But it's a big ask. It's a little bit right. Oh, with lot. Oh, we hit somebody. I hope they're all right. Are you all right, sir? Yeah, it's only a flesh wound.
Tremendous clubhead speed, 171 miles an hour with a 3-wood.
Time for a Nani, is it? No. Mr. Williams getting a bit frisky there.
Graceful action of Luke Donald, second to the 16th. Nicely done.
That's 3 iron shots in a row he's played that have been absolutely right on the button. Campbell is the only winner on the left-hand side. Donald down the bottom there, all square with Clark. And some, well, Montgomery and Howell had a good old battle, and well, perhaps wasn't quite as brilliant as we've seen out both of them over the past months, but no disgrace there for Howell. He won't have lost any confidence of the way he played, although a few scrappy long shots. Montgomery kept things going very well. Casey had a blistering period when every hole was a 3 or a 2. Mike Weir played as usual. Very, very competent player, Mike Weir. Scott was a bit off colour. Carlson was unrelenting. There's been some very interesting matchups today. Clark's potted a few good ones over the last few holes, and this is the putt that Else had, and it appeared to run absolutely straight. It's one of the longest putters I've ever seen. He wields it very well.
Yeah, he's used it for quite a long while, Peter, this technique as well. It's not something he's just turned to.
And it's a thickish grip too, Ken, you know, it's almost cricket bat handle. He's done it. Oh, robbed. Oy vey. Oh, he thought that was in, so did I. Now, surely Donald must hold one. He's been inside, he's been closer to the hole on most occasions in this inward 9 so far, and hasn't held one. Clark's hold a couple of beauties. But here again is one of these funny little putts that waver about, they wander about. And again he misses, Now, a little reminder for you with the magic box and the red button. Tomorrow we're kicking off here at 10 o'clock, so you'll be able to see an extended version, an hour and a half of extra play tomorrow on your digital sets for those of you that have that wonderful facility. And we'll be here, and you'll be able to see a good hour and a half's play before the main boys get underway, sort of around about lunchtime.
Tiger got very lucky here, hit somebody just on the back of the leg and stopped it going into the woods. He's still got to manoeuvre it a little bit. The ideal shot would be just very slightly left to right, which would also hold it against the slope on the green, which is very much right to left. But it's got to be a good shot because McKeel's in prime position. 194 yards.
Big slider left to right. Still battling, but that's no guarantee for a 3. McKeel again has to find the green. No worse than a 4.
McKeel, as Peter said, perfect line in, 187 yards with a 7-iron, which suggests he's probably going to go with his natural draw. The ball will tend to run right to left anyway when it lands.
And it was a big 7. If he catches a soft bit, he could be short. But he didn't. Well, just got on, and it's a good result. That's a big 7-iron from that bunker. I think that's really a 5-iron with a 7 stamped on the bottom of it. That's why all these clubs send the ball so far, you know. Nothing magical.
Dangerous 17th tee. Starts it down the right. Must be coming back. He's up with the tee. He's got to smoke one just to get anywhere near the corner. In fact, always a lovely bounce.
Big bounce was the first one we've seen run, Ken. What do you think Ernie Els hits? Has hit 3 balls out of bounds here on this hole today. Well, he's done his bit. He can smile now. Good drive. Now it's up to Luke Donald to find the fairway. His rhythm hardly ever changes. Always the held position at the end. Yeah, that one didn't go at all.
I think goodbye his grimace on his face. He may have just caught that a little bit out of the heel of the club. It didn't really flight as well as Tim Clark's, and that's a long way back. 610 yards is par 5 now, dogleg from right to left. 250 to get it over the road now. You can drive down the right and a long way. You can see how you've got to look round to the green. Second shot over the crest of the hill. Green unsighted to the players, even if you hit a good tee shot. Not a bunker on the hole, on one of the trickiest greens like the 16th to see the line on.
You might just have got a glimpse of the little large cloches on the site of their old house there. I'm sure they're growing tomatoes there. They do some weird and wonderful things here on this estate, I tell you. If it could write its memoirs, what tales it would tell. Men of average height, Ken. 2 good battlers.
Yes, make the most of their games. Tim Clark has, well, he almost disappeared off the tour about 4 or 5 years ago. Went to the South African Open, won it as a qualifier, and it turned his career around. Of course, probably most remembered for being runner-up at the Masters this year.
Very successful in the President's Cup too. He's a good performer in that. He's a good stuffy player.
I've got McKeel at an approximate 4 under for the match, so he's not absolutely ripped it up round here, but he's played very sensibly, very steady, which is his forte. Just keep it on the fairways, keep it on the green, and he's putted well today. He's had the speed of the greens really well. If he makes this one, it's all over.
He's got to be careful. The one thing he doesn't want to do is leave it 4 feet short. A lot of swing, but also speed crucial.
His technique looks very similar to Bill Rogers. It's like the upright hand, similar sort of putter.
What a good putt. Well, Tigger, this is it. In the old days, you could have left that ball there and maybe gone in off.
It was fantastic.
A lot of people playing golf today, they will have had no idea of stymies, and the player hitting has control of all the balls on the greens. In match play, you leave it there. I can go in off that one. Now this has got to go in. And it wouldn't surprise me if it did.
The more the putt is required, and the more important it is, Tiger seems to take a little bit of extra time wandering round it, slow pace. So certainly got the eye of the Tiger, this one.
No, too low. Well, well, well. That was a very fine win, Sean McKeel. The world's #1. Not firing on all cylinders, not holding any putts really. But that is a very good victory for the outsider, Sean McKeel. Wins 4 and 3.
Hole halved in 4. Sean McKeel wins the match 4 and 3.
I think just that final putt said it all, Peter. Didn't really read it. He had to hold it and missed it by a foot, which is so uncharacteristic.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. Well, that's disappointing for those that wanted to see more Tiger Woods, but congratulations to Sean McKeel. It's a very fine win indeed. And both players are with Julian Tutt.
Well, we must start with Sean, because that was something that I don't think many people had predicted today. Well played.
Well, thank you. It was, you know, it was really a tough day. You know, both of us kind of struggled, I think, keeping the ball close to the hole. Really, I think the pins were set in some pretty good spots, and it really forced you to fire back at the pin. He had several balls that were just great shots that came back a good distance, and you know, I don't think either one of us putted really well. He started figuring it out a little bit and had a couple of chances that a couple of balls could have gone in, but yeah, I played okay. I didn't putt as well as I would have liked, but you know, certainly wasn't expected, and I just was just out trying to have a good day, just try to play my game and hit the ball in the fairway and make a few putts, and I think that's kind of what I did.
What do you say, Tiger?
Well, he did what he needed to do. I felt like I hit the ball, you know, pretty decent all day, and I just didn't make any putts. And the only putt I think I really made was on the second hole this afternoon. Other than that, I really didn't hole anything, and I had my chances. I just had a hard time, you know, with my pace, and if you get a hard time with your pace, it's hard to read the greens.
You're not the first person that struggled to read the greens here. Was that the main problem, reading it?
Well, it's easy to read when you have the good pace. You know, I didn't have very good pace today, so it just made for a little more of a difficult day. So my pace was it got a little bit better in the afternoon on the back nine, but by then it was already too late. I was, you know, 3 and 4 down.
Was there a point where you mentally conceded it before we got here?
No.
I mean, the cynics will say that you don't care about it, that, you know, you weren't trying your hardest. I suspect that's not the case.
Obviously, they don't know me very well, do they?
I'm disappointed that you've had 5 wins in a row. That run's come to an end.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think you're going to be excited that you ever lost. I don't know what person is excited when they're lost.
So what's the plan now? Fishing in Ireland or back home to America?
I don't know. That's a good question. Right now, I'm probably going to go work out and get some of this frustration out, and we'll see what happens.
Very tough for you, but one has to say, what a bonus for Sean.
Well, I mean, anytime you have an opportunity to play Tiger Woods head-to-head, you know, he beats most of us more times than we get a chance to beat him. Obviously, you know, match play is just a little bit different of a game. I think we had pretty decent scores, and it really added up. But it was tough conditions out there. But like I said, I finished second to him more times than he'll ever finish second to me. So, you know, it was great to have an opportunity to play him in the first round. I know that. You know, he's been playing some great golf and will continue to do that. So it's, you know, look, I needed some confidence to try to play head-to-head with the #1 player in the world. And I know he didn't play his best, but sometimes things just don't go your way. And if this was a 4-day event, things might be a little bit different.
All right, well done. Thank you very much, you both.
Okay.
Bad luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Good luck, man.
Yeah.
Donald second. And work it round the corner.
There's a long way back there. That would needed a big hook to get it round to the fairway, which he's done beautifully, and scampers. Now look at this. Well, I didn't think this hole could be reached today. And there's a relatively modest hitter knocking it on. He won't know that's on the green. He may think it's just 10 or 15 yards short. Now the winner of this match will play Sean McKeel. They're at the bottom of the leaderboard. Campbell and Montgomery, Casey, Weir, Carlson, Cabrera.
Clark's third. He couldn't quite get it on the green. stiff-wristed action with this.
Not bad. Obviously, there's a recorded shot of Donald's coming up onto the green. He's at the back there already to play. And it looks as if he's got a very good chance that 2 putts here might, just might, win the hole. The only match left out on the course now. And we were talking earlier about, you know, if play is slow or whatever, will we have enough daylight? Well, we certainly will, unless this match battles on. Here's a putt to win the hole, and it's turning. But a good putt from Donald, who's played the last few holes absolutely superbly. And Tiger there, the chariot awaits. Funny old game, isn't it? One day you're a statue, the next day you're a pigeon. This has got to go, Ken. This to halve the hole and stay all square with 1 to go.
But you'd thought it would turn from his left to right, going by the way Donald's putt swung from the other side of the hole, but I don't think there's too much in it.
Oh, so near. That's 2 putts in a row. He holed some good ones before that, but he loses it to a birdie 4. Luke Donald only needs a half at the last hole to go through to the next round. Well, the members of our European Ryder Cup team that have been here today have had a pretty good day though far. Howell's beaten, of course, but he had a ding-dong game with Montgomery, and he's nothing to be ashamed of. Carry some good thoughts forward. Then we come to the 18th, which has been tweaked a bit. Those bushes, of course, on the left have grown over the years. Bunkers on the left have been enlarged, 1 extra on the right-hand side. But look at the green, for those of you that are seeing this perhaps for the first time. There used to be just 2 or 3 bunkers up there. Now there's about 8. And has changed the look of this hole altogether. Interesting to come here when all the hospitality pavilions have gone. It's just a huge open space with some lovely old trees at the back and the ground rising up to the clubhouse. Donald with the honour. Quite a walk down through the trees to the 18th tee. This tee's been moved back almost as far as it can possibly go, just squeezing an extra few yards out of it. Donald would have the honour, and of course, as we say, when you have the honour on a tricky hole, if you get one down the fairway, it stands you in very good stead.
Especially when you're 1 up with 1 to play.
That bunker on the right-hand side has made a very different complexion on this hole, because you used to be able to, the long hitters used to be able to blast it round the corner with a bit of left to right, and now that bunker has made them think a bit. There it is. You see it on this side as we go from our picture on high. It's not quite as severe a dogleg as that, but you can aim at those bunkers and have a little bit of fade or push to the right, and it's a better driving hole than it was. Now, can he hit the fairway? And he's okay. Oh, very much okay. I'm still working out how he managed to hit 2 shots to the back of the 17th green. That's mighty hitting for someone not renowned for his length. Played his early golf at Beaconsfield, where my father was a professional for a couple of years in the 30s. where he and I are both privileged to be honorary members. A delightful course. And a good old pro there, good old-fashioned professional. They've got good indoor staff, a proper club. Now Clark.
He'll certainly be giving it his everything. See if he can reach in two.
He's pulled that, has he, a bit, Ken? Has he pulled? Oh, a big... Oh, and that's nasty. That'll be ball below feet, and that'll be, if he gets that 130, 40 yards up the fairway, he'll have done very well. Yeah, that's awkward. That is awkward. And it looks to be a little bit of sand maybe piled up behind the ball. So Donald very much in the driving seat.
That's the one you not getting for that one.
Well, not lying as bad as I thought. That's no sand behind it. Could get it out, I don't think more than 150, 60 yards. And the communication from the member of Galston Golf Club. Now Galston Golf have been celebrating their centenary. They keep coming thick and fast now, the old centenaries. I'm almost sure I played an exhibition match there years ago with Diaries, David Thomas, Bernard Hunt. England v Wales. We used to go around for the Lord Roberts Workshops and Forces Help Society. Great fun days they were. And a delightful course, if I remember, Galston. Now, if you were a betting man, Ken, do you think Luke Donald will find the green with his second shot?
Yeah, he's quite a long way back, though. Thought he was a little further up than that. He's on the limit, yeah, but I think he will.
But, he knocked a couple on the 17th.
Yeah.
Campbell, Montgomery, Casey, Weir, Carlson, Cabrera, and the winner of this match will play Sean McKeel. And Montgomery, Casey, Carlson, all Ryder Cup players next week. Luke Donald also.
Furyk and Woods.
Sorry?
Furyk and Woods.
Yeah, Furyk and Woods, well, they've both been stuffed, so they need time to recover. A great surprise. I mean, I've watched Jim Furyk for years and been very impressed. All right, he doesn't have a copybook swing, but the way he gets through the ball, crisp hitter, keeps the ball in play. I don't think he putts as well as he did 5 or 6 years ago, but his ball striking was superb. Hats off to Carlson, Robert Carlson today, who blistered him with birdies, and he must be hugely confident for his first appearance next week. £1 million to the winner, then 400, 120 for the losing, 60 if you get knocked out today, not too bad. Modest footballers, weekly wage, well, perhaps a bit more than a modest footballer. Those that lose tomorrow get 80,000. Wonderful sponsors, HSBC, all around the world, rather like the Royal Bank of Scotland, who have become tremendous supporters of the game of golf.
Tim Clark's in an awkward spot. He's got to take a gamble and see if he can get it over the little stream, little canal that runs in the hollow there. No such problems for Luke Donald. Oh dear.
It looks, what does that look like, Ken? A 6, a 5, 6, 7?
Yeah.
5, 6, 7?
It's a serious gamble anyway.
Well, now, let's see this very nicely balanced, poised, rhythmical swing. Nipped it off, swept it off the top. And is he on line? Is he going towards that left-hand bunker? Oh, what a... Oh, sir. That's some hitting, Ken.
He must have a very hot 3 with that, really did.
I don't know. Whatever he's on, I'm going to get some.
Another
Beautiful shot that was. Unless a miracle happens, a golfing miracle, that's the end of that. Good hit. Very good. But he's one down. His opponent is about 10 feet away in 2. So Tim Clark will have to hold his third shot. Well, it's been a very interesting opening day. Tremendous thunderstorms in the area, going down as far as Petersfield, which is well into Hampshire from here, and Surrey, Hampshire borders. A lot of rain fell overnight. A bit misty this morning and very muggy. Not terribly pleasant, not unpleasant, but the sun came out. Spectators rolled in their thousands. I don't know whether we had a record opening day, but it must be close to it. And everything has gone pretty well. 1 or 2 surprises. Well, there's 3 weeks of golf in the UK for so many of the world's great players. We're talking about Tiger Woods and his compatriots. There are a lot of them on parade next week in the Ryder Cup matches, and then at the American Express Championships at the Grove up near Watford, sort of 11 o'clock. If you look at the Ring Road, the M25, it's Grove's just inside, around about 11 o'clock. Previous winners, there you go. Look at Ernie Els. Ernie, Woosner, Westwood, Montgomery. Ernie's won it half a dozen times. And if you go back to the beginning, early 60s, mid-60s, Arnold Palmer and Gary Player dominated the first few years of this event. Lee Trevino, Hale Irwin, Phil Rogers won the Open Championship back in, what, 81? It's been a great event. It's changed a lot over the years, and of course the hurricane. Some of you remember the hurricane here in '87 when we could hardly get onto the course. Some of the big old trees disappeared around the first tee, but the greenkeeping standards here have been so good over the years. Chris Kennedy and his team. And this young man's played some very good golf today. I watched him round and about, and he makes the very most of his talent. He's a good old stuffy player. But this has got to go in the hole. He's 1 down. Luke Donald's up there 10 or 12 feet away in 2. Well, you never know.
From where he was with his tee shot, he's done extremely well to get in this position. It's the ideal spot to have a shy at the hole. Nice tight lie. I'm certainly thinking in. Looks very difficult from here, but it's a fairly simple shot. A little down the shaft, a little stiff-wristed, and see if he can nip it and spin it into the cup.
He fancies it. If it spins, oh, should have jumped down the other way. Look at that, that's too much backspin. Good applause here for Luke Donald, one of England's finest. What a good player he's become over the last 5 or 6 years. Just improving gently every year, learning how to play, consolidate, attack, defend. Play starts tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Michael Campbell and Colin Montgomery strike off first. For those of you with an interactive box and the red button, we're kicking off around about 10 o'clock. So there's an hour and a half, 2 hours of extra golf if you have that facility. And then we go on to BBC Two round about lunchtime, 1:30 tomorrow. Well, he's having one crack at it. If this goes in, Luke has a couple of putts for the match. No, thank you very much. Well played. So the brothers Donald strike again. Well done, bruv. And Donald finished very, very strongly. Played some magnificent iron shots from about the 13th in, and the big shots into the 17th and 18th. Two big shots on the par 5 were really cracking shots. And Julian Tutler just getting in position to have a word with them, and we'll hear from Julian in a moment. That's how they all finished. Casey was played some magnificent golf. Well, the big winners on the right-hand side did. Ernie Els rather self-destructed at the end, but Cabrera was always, I felt, just in charge of that match. Let's join Julian Tutt.
Boys, well played. I didn't have the pleasure of watching you, so I'll have to get you to tell us about it. Luke, congratulations. What was the story of the match?
Well, it was always pretty close. I think, you know, when we started this morning, it was going to be a good tight match because we have similar games. You know, Tim gave me a couple this afternoon on the front side, and I got a little bit of a lead, but he came roaring back with, I think, 4 birdies in about 6 holes and squared the match up. And fortunately, I was able to birdie the last 2, but it was a good match.
Had the course changed much in the course of the last couple of days with all the rain?
I only played it yesterday, so I'm not too sure, but it is pretty soft. You know, the greens are softening up quite a lot. The fairways weren't too bad. You know, I think there's still a bit of run out there, but certainly the greens are holding really quick.
I'm told you had interesting approaches on the 17th and 18th. Tell us about those.
Well, 17, you know, new tee, it's playing a little longer, but I had 282 to the front, and I just tried to really just burn hit a big draw with a 3-wood, and must have got a good kick and got it onto the green, and then had about 240 front on this one and managed to squeeze it on as well. So my 3-wood kind of saved me a little bit the last couple of holes.
People always say that 36-hole match play is much fairer than 18. It really does decide the right winner. Do you think that's the case?
Well, for sure. You know, I mean, it's pretty easy in 18 holes to come out and get lucky and get a few up and win a match. But certainly over 36, end of the day, the guys played the best golf should win. Not that that happened in this game, just by the way.
The best player today, in other words, the winner, should, by all accounts, have been playing Tiger Woods. Is that something that Eden had come into your consciousness, or were you just concentrating on this one?
Well, at the end, obviously, I kind of saw that Tiger had lost, and I was sort of back in the game. And yeah, sure, you know, we knew once we got through, the next match wasn't going to be as tough as we'd expected. But obviously, Sean's playing great golf. You don't beat Tiger by not playing well. So obviously, I think whoever, you know, Luke's going to have a tough game tomorrow too.
How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, obviously, as Tim said, Sean must have played great today to beat Tiger. And, you know, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose to play against Sean rather than Tiger, just the way Tiger's been playing lately. But, again, I'm sure Sean is on a big high. He'll be excited for tomorrow, and I'll have to play great.
How physically draining is this week? I mean, obviously, it's only the first day, but it must look like an awful long way away to get to Sunday afternoon.
It is. Even though it's 4 matches, you're 36 holes every time, and that's a lot of golf. And you know, if I happen to get to Sunday and play Sunday, I'll definitely take Monday off and be pretty easy going on Tuesday as well to recover for next week of the Ryder Cup. But it's good practice.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about the Ryder Cup. How much is that in your mind at this stage, or is this a tournament in its own right that you're desperate to win?
Well, you know, I'm trying to play this week first, and then we'll get to the K Club next week. But it's nice to win a match, you know, here and have a little bit more match play tomorrow and see how I do. But obviously, it's exciting for me, and you know, obviously Tiger and Furyk both lost today, so I don't know if that's a good omen or not, but they'll have a little bit more time to practice and prepare the Ryder Cup.
Darren Clarke has been playing this week, not practicing, and I gather he's 4 under today, which is good news.
That's great. I think Darren, you know, he's obviously been
through it a lot in the last few months, and it's nice to see him doing well. And if he is 4 under, I haven't heard obviously, but that's great. I wish him all the best this week. To play a little bit well this week and get a few competitive rounds on his belt, especially some rounds under par, will do him a lot of good.
All right, thanks for your time. Well played. Good luck tomorrow, and bad luck, Tim. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's a fascinating final round there from Luke Donald. He prevails 2 holes over Tim Clark of South Africa, but it's been an expensive day here at Wentworth. We have lost the world #1, Tiger Woods, to Sean McHale. We've lost the world #2, Jim Furyk, after the heroics of Robert Carlson, and we have lost the most successful player in this event's history, the 6-time winner of the World Matchplay, Ernie Els. My goodness, it's been an eventful day. Well, if you're just coming in from work or from school, let's update you with how these matches went on. It's a very long day, as you were hearing from Julian and the boys there. 36 holes of match play between now and the final on Sunday every day. It's a grueling, it's a draining event. And the first pair out this morning went out at 7:36, Michael Campbell. And by the time they'd reached lunch, Michael Campbell, the defending champion and the #1 seed, was 2 up. And this, for Campbell, was an eagle putt attempt at the 17th. Didn't quite get that one. He made the birdie though. Simon Can. He battled all afternoon, had the Englishman, and he had to try and make that putt. Didn't make it. The Kiwi won it 1 up, and Can leaves with the not insubstantial sum of £60,000 for his efforts today. But afterwards I spoke to the winner, the defending champion, Michael Campbell. Michael, a 3-1 win over Simon Can today. It wasn't perhaps the most scintillating golf you've ever played, but a win is a win, and I suppose you'd be happy to take it.
Absolutely. You know, it's very strange. It's all about really playing against your opponent, not the golf course, and that's the most important thing is winning. Whether it's 2-1 or 5, you know, 6 and 5. Yeah, today was a little bit scratchy. The first probably 9 holes, but I came back with a pretty strong, you know, 2 birdies and an eagle. And going into the break, into lunch, 2 shots ahead is always a nice thing to do, and managed to get by just really, and birdie in the 17th hole was a nice ending.
You told me at the break when I chatted to you then that you'd had a 5:30 alarm call this morning.
I know.
This is a really tough championship. How do you cope with the mental and indeed the physical strain?
I think the most important thing is to rest the body. I'm going to hit a few balls just to warm down really, and then go home and just watch a bit of TV and just relax. That's the most important thing. It's a long week. You know, I played obviously last year 4 rounds or 8 rounds really, and it's tough going. So the most important thing is to rejuvenate the body and just go home and rest and watch other guys play.
I remember last year you told us that you were doing a bit of yoga, some headstands in the evening to help you get over it. Is something you're still doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's 2 minutes headstand. It's great. You know, you imagine seeing the world as we are now, inverted, and it really helps the circulation of your legs and stuff like that, because walking around all the time, you know, walking 10 miles a day, it's pretty tough going. So inversions or headstands are very good for you.
And one final point, as coming here as defending champion, do you feel any extra pressure, or is it more of a pleasure or privilege to be in such a position?
Well, I mean, all year, Hazell, I've been putting too much pressure on myself, a little bit, being expectations way too high. So this week I've decided to have a mindset of just going there and playing golf. I have no expectations at all. I'm trying to disconnect myself from that expectation level, you could say. So that's my plan.
Good man. Keep it going tomorrow.
Thanks, Hazell.
Thank you. You see, we should all be doing headstands in the evening. That is the secret of success. Ken Brown's with me to discuss the day's events. Ken, it was interesting to hear Michael say that he's simply been trying too hard. He had an awful lot to live up to last year, winning the US Open title, and thereafter this crown at Wentworth. Can you understand with his plight in a way this season?
Yes, he's tried to do everything the same this year as he did last, and he's just run out of a bit of form, hasn't played quite so well. And because you're the US Open champion, you think, well, I should be winning every week. We come to a regular tournament, why aren't I winning? He's probably put himself under a bit of extra pressure and has struggled slightly all season. Hasn't ever found that bit of magic. He's always been a slightly inconsistent player. Even at his best, he's been a bit hot and cold, but he hasn't found as much hot so far this season as he certainly did last season. It was a scruffy game against Simon Carr, both of them up and down. Most of the holes exchange hands with bogeys, and Simon Carr will be delighted with his £60,000, but he didn't play his best.
OK, well, it's Michael who's still in the money for the £1 million prize fund here for the first person to win it. It really is a magnificent prize. And who would he be playing? Would it be David Howell or Colin Montgomery? This was a cracking matchup, this one, fascinating. Now Monty was 5 under after 6 this afternoon, and he was 3 up on David Howell. Quite extraordinary scenes out there, but back came the Englishman, and only at the 16th did Monty edge in front once again. David Howell, who leads the way in the European Order of Merit this season, he responded beautifully with this chip at the 17th, and this would tie the match again. So all square going down the 18th, a situation that Colin knows very well. He's won here on numerous occasions. And it was this approach at the 18th which was to yield the Scot a birdie, and the chance, and he took it. So Monty wins the match 1 up. Very delighted, I'm sure, the man who's won 8 European Order of Merits along the years. And afterwards he spoke to our Maureen Medill.
Now, Colin, that was quite a tussle out there. Great start and fast out of the blocks this afternoon.
I was, yeah, 4 under after 5, and you know, got 3 up, and then it was all going swimmingly well until David decided to start putting the way he does normally, and he held a great putt on 6 for the win, and a 60-footer on 7 and a 50-footer on 9. I thought, oh God, here we go. But I managed just to hang on. You know, I was never down all day, and I was one of these classic games that I felt if it had gone to the 37th, the only time it had been up would have been on that time. So I'm glad I played a good last hole, a good drive actually, and it just ran straight through into the bunker. That was 300 yards. I must be getting older or longer my old age. But yeah, good game, and he's a fine competitor, and of course will do well next week.
And talking about the putting, you're looking very comfortable now, having gone back to the short putter.
Yeah, am I?
Yeah.
I don't feel it over the ball. I don't feel it. You know,
don't tell anybody.
No, not tell anybody. Hit a shot in there at the last, and you're left with a 3-footer right to left. It's quite comfortable, so that was okay. But a little more comfortable. Yeah, I'm glad I hold the 1 on 17. That was key for me to play the last. I know some people might have thought I'd given him the putt on 17, but it still have to be hold, and I'm glad I hold that for a 5 on 17. It gave me some confidence, and you know, I'll look forward to tomorrow now.
Well, thanks a lot, and good luck against Campbell.
Thank you.
Yes, Monty certainly in sparkling form, both on and off the course, it has to be said, Ken. But I know that the two of them were reticent about playing one another. Being European Ryder Cup teammates, you didn't really want to be playing one another at this stage, did you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame. David Howell's had a wonderful season, but he's struggled the last few weeks a little bit with his neck, and I don't think he was too fluid early on. Certainly in the morning's play, he said he hit the ball poorly, like a 12 handicap, so he certainly wasn't playing his best game. But you can never leave David Howell out of it because he putts so well. And just when Monty got off to a flying start this afternoon, he held a couple of great long ones and was right back in it. And mentally, Colin's suddenly thinking, actually, I'm outplaying this chap, but if I'm not careful, I'll lose to him. So he was pleased to wriggle through in the end, but he did play the soundest game tee to green, Colin, today.
From what you saw of David Howell's game physically, what kind of shape do you think he's in?
Pretty good. He's had a slowish period since the Open Championship. He had a good week a couple of weeks ago at the BMW International where he played beautifully and finished 4th. But he certainly hasn't got quite his A game. I saw him on the range this morning. He's fiddling about with his setup with his coach Clive Tucker, and he's not feeling 100% comfortable. But because he does putt so well, then he's always got a chance in any match, and he'll be looking forward to having a bit of a break for next week in the Ryder Cup.
I'm sure he'll be able to take that break, relax and get himself in full fitness for the Ryder Cup next week, as you say. Now, another European teammate is Paul Casey, and it was low scoring and high quality stuff in his match against Goosen. It was all square at lunch, and Paul Casey had to play well simply to keep up with the Goose this morning. That he did. This birdie at the 18th took the match all square as he headed in for something to eat. And then a quite sensational afternoon followed from Casey. He was 6 under par after 6. This beautiful putt at the 11th helped him to a 6-4 victory over the world number 6. Paul, what a debut in this championship. 6-4 against the world number 6. How pleased are you with the way you performed, particularly this afternoon?
Ecstatic with that. I mean, Goose is a tough guy to beat. I wasn't too sure how it would go today. I've not played a 36-hole match in a long time, probably since I was an amateur last time I did it. So it was, I just tried to stay with him in the morning. He got a couple up early, and I scraped back to all square, and then this afternoon it just sort of kicked off with birdies and an eagle. And you know, when you're playing golf like that, it's fun no matter where you are. So to be in a situation where very fortunate to beat Retief,
just feels great and get through to the next round.
Well, this afternoon you were, what, 6 under par for the first 6 holes, and I know a lot of the guys out there were asking you what you did have for your lunch. Was there any secret to
I'm
it?
not telling you. It's a secret.
You're going to use it tomorrow, I bet.
I think I'll stick to the same routine. I'll make sure they got the same food in there for tomorrow.
Now, in terms of your match play record, you've got a tremendously strong record, both in Walker Cup and Ryder Cup, Seve Trophy. How much confidence did you secretly have coming into this championship as a result of all of these memories?
It's, you know, I know how to play match play. I mean, I don't think it's that different from stroke play. I mean, you've just got to be aware occasionally of what the opponent's doing. Only once in today's match did I really change the game plan. When Goose made a mistake this morning on 12, I literally chipped out and took my par and took the win of the hole. So it's a case of being in there every single time, consistently putting the pressure on the other guy. But good golf wins, and everybody here is capable of beating anybody else. And you know, especially in an 18-hole match play, slightly different maybe on a 36-hole day. But everybody's qualified to be here. This is one of the best fields you know, we've had for this tournament, and it's showing in the results today. I know it's one championship, one event at a time, but the mind must be flitting forward to next week in Ireland. Can you start to feel the vibes? Can you start to feel It's only because you keep asking me questions about it.
I'm excited about it too, I suppose.
Of course it is. I mean, it's you know, having been over there last week to take a look at the K Club, the mind is definitely on it, and it's trying to stay focused on this week first. And this is a very, very big week. Probably the biggest purse in golf, I imagine, at least first place checks. So it's a big deal, and trying to stay concentrating, you know, focused on this week and shot by shot, day by day. But next week's going to be exciting. It's going to be a long week, tiring. This is good preparation for it, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, as you say, there is a £1 million winner's cheque. That's enough to keep anybody focused. Good luck tomorrow, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, Paul mentioned his visit last week with half of the European team to the K Club. How important do you think that was, Ken, for Ian Woosnam to take some of the guys, particularly Luke Donald, who'd never actually played there, to let them see it?
I think any time the team can get together, or any part of the team can get together, it's a useful bonding exercise. You can go around the golf course. Ian Woosnam been having a look, 1 or 2 possible pairings. It's a little early to be deciding any, so they would have enjoyed it, and particularly useful for Luke Donald. If you've not seen the course before, to get there and have a round around it, you can mentally prepare yourself. I understand what the course is going to be like. If you go there without having done that, certainly on Mondays and Tuesdays, particularly if you played a long week here, he'd be dashing around, wasting a bit of extra energy.
He was looking yesterday, he was playing in the Pro-Am in Woosnam, but when you see the likes of Casey and Howell, is that a pairing that you would repeat once again after their success last time?
You're always going to look at past pairings and how people have bonded together. It's so difficult to know because form changes so quickly that you could go out the next week and someone's playing well this week's not playing so well next. I think you've really got to pick your pairings on how the players are playing that week, and sometimes you can put a couple together that perhaps don't suit. Someone like Paul Casey, who makes a lot of birdies, that's why he does well in match play, is always going to be a 4-ball player. He played some wonderful stuff today, and to beat Goosen 6 and 4, he'll be looking forward to more match play.
He will indeed, and he's going to get it tomorrow because he will be up against Canada's Mike Weir, former Masters champion, of course, the lefty. He was up against Australia's Adam Scott today, and Weir hadn't won a match here in his 4 previous visits, but against Scott, the Canadian looked really in the mood to put that right. He was 3 up at lunch thanks to some sparkling iron play like that. And this afternoon, Scott really didn't make any inroads. Weir holing out here at the 16th. And this would secure a 3-2 victory. His first, as I was saying, at Wentworth. So the handshake with Adam Scott. And you just wonder how much a little bit of jet lag might have been a feature in that match, because Adam Scott had just successfully defended his Malaysian Open, his Singapore Open title at the weekend. They do cover some miles, these lads, don't they?
It's very tiring, all those time changes in different conditions. Singapore is very hot, of course it's a little bit cooler here, so travelling around does take its wear and tear, but these fellas these days are super fit. I mean, people like Adam Scott and Tiger Woods, they are supreme athletes, so it does allow you to recover, but it certainly does take its toll. And Scott today, I watched him on the range this morning, he looked as if he was striping it, perhaps run out a bit of steam, and he holed no putts, and Mike Weir's a steady Eddie, he goes around the course, doesn't make too many mistakes, so he came out on top.
Well, it was Mike Weir who was in Canada at the Canadian Open at the weekend. So too was Jim Furyk. In fact, the world number 2 won that one. But He found himself in real trouble at lunchtime today. He was 5 down against European Ryder Cup player Robert Carlson. And Carlson had been playing some quite stunning and inspired stuff this morning, chipping in here at the 14th and holing from everywhere. In fact, he produced 7 birdies in 10 holes this morning from the 9th hole to stretch his advantage to 5. And despite a charge from Furyk this afternoon, the Swede really did stand tall to see it through. 4 and 3, that is one of the key victories of his career. Robert, just how highly do you value a win over the world #2 today? Fantastic play.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's probably one of the biggest experiences I've had in my golf career, I would say, because it was, I mean, as I say, world #2 coming in from win last week and a loss to Tiger just the other week, so it's definitely playing very well. And I was out there, and definitely the way it felt for me being out there. I mean, I wasn't nervous. I just took my shot and each at a time and a hole at a time, and it was a good day.
You expressed some surprise to me just before we started chatting that you could see some of the shocks happening over 18 holes, but in 36. It must give you so much confidence to know that you can hold a player of Jim's stature for that amount of time.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. I mean, and it probably, yeah, for myself, it was to hold it together and playing my game and not getting too caught up in what he was doing. And it's such a big sort of receipt on that. My game is good enough to play the best players in the world. It feels great.
Well, keep firing those 64s like you did this morning. That would be very nice.
Yeah.
And when you think about the years where you were not picked for the Ryder Cup, you're overlooked in '99, I guess the sense of excitement is growing now. How much does it mean to you to be included in this Ryder Cup?
Well, the funny thing is that in the beginning of the season this year, I mean, I was so far off, so I didn't really care about it. It was so out of the blue. And when even after the victory in Wales, I was still pretty close. I got pretty close on the actual money list, but it was still so many tournaments, so many big tournaments to play for. So I thought I had to make another 500,000 euros to get up there at least. And 500,000 was what I made last year in a pretty good season. So it wasn't the easiest of tasks still. So I just sort of kept playing and I've done my thing since, and all of a sudden I'm right there, and it's looking forward to it now.
Well, we'd like you to keep producing that kind of form throughout the next few days and indeed next week for us, could you?
I'll do my best.
Thank you very much, Robert. Well played.
Thank you.
Yes, it was the performance of the day, and he will now play not Ernie Els, as we had suspected it might be, but Angel Cabrera. And when you consider the magnitude of that achievement from Cabrera's perspective, how surprised are you at the way Ernie played today?
And he looked to have sort of lead boots on all the way around today. He didn't seem to be full of confidence. He too's come back from Singapore, maybe a little bit tired, knows the course well, has got the most outstanding match play record here. So you'd have thought probably he would have gone through against Cabrera, but Cabrera's won here at the PGA Championship. Always a difficult customer, particularly when the course is playing long. And it was a good standard to play, but Cabrera just had the edge. And I suppose the turning points were the 2 tee shots that Ernie hit out of bounds at the 17th in the morning and the afternoon. That was the difference between the two of them.
Well, if that was a surprise, what followed later was a shock, because Tiger Woods was the bookies' favourite to win his 6th straight title in a row since the Open at Hoylake, and he was 3 down at lunch against former US PGA champion Shaun Michael. And Woods was struggling all day on these Wentworth greens, a very un-Tiger-like miss, this one at the 9th. But you can't take anything away from Shaun Michael. Some sparkling play from the American. Chased Tiger all the way to the tape at the recent US PGA Championship in Medina. Played very steadily this afternoon, 2 birdies and an eagle. And that moved into 4 up. And with Woods really unable to respond, Michael was on his way to a famous victory. It was Michael Campbell who said yesterday, the bigger they come, the harder they fall, and in Woods' case, that's the way it's proved today. An excellent victory for Shaun Michael. Tiger's first defeat in any event since the week before the Open Championship at Hoylake, and afterwards the two of them spoke to Julian Tuss.
I mean, the cynics will say that you don't care about it, that you weren't trying your hardest. I suspect that's not the case.
Obviously, they don't know me very well, do they?
I'm disappointed that you've had 5 wins in a row. That run's come to an end.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to be excited that you ever lost. I don't know what person is excited when they're lost.
So what's the plan now? Fishing in Ireland or back home to America?
I don't know. That's a good question. Right now, I'm probably going to go work out and get some of this frustration out, and we'll see what happens.
Very tough for you, but one has to say, what a bonus for Sean.
Well, I mean, anytime you have an opportunity to play Tiger Woods head-to-head, you know, he beats most of us more times than we get a chance to beat him. Obviously, you know, match play is just a little bit different of a game. I think we had pretty decent scores, and it really added up, but it was tough conditions out there. But like I said, I finished second to him more times than he'll ever finish second to me. So, you know, it was great to have an opportunity to play him in the first round. I know that, you know, he's been playing some great golf and will continue to do that. So look, I needed some confidence to try to play head-to-head with the #1 player in the world. And I know he didn't play his best, but sometimes things just don't go your way. And if this was a 4-day event, things might be a little bit different.
Well done to Sean McKeel. Sum up that match for us from both of their perspectives, Ken.
Well, Woods, it was all about his putting. From fairly early on, you could see he wasn't quite getting the pace right. He wasn't choosing the correct lines. He was getting a bit frustrated, asking his caddy to help him line putts up. So he just didn't make a putt. He shot 72 in the morning with 33 putts and was pretty fortunate to do that. He birdied 2 of the last 3 holes. McKeel was steady all the way around, and I have to say he held his nerve. It's quite easy, well, it's not easy to get ahead of him, but when you do it, he could have stumbled at the closing block and perhaps let Tiger in, but Tiger found nothing on the greens, and McKeel was neat, tidy, did enough, and had a good enough nerve to hold in on the end to win 4 and 3.
All good things have to come to an end, but how much pressure must have been building on Woods the longer this run of victories went on?
Well, he's a miracle man as far as that's concerned. He thrives on goals, records, trying to win 7 in a row, 8 in a row. So he'd be disappointed, obviously, but it's a driving force for him rather than a pressure. He regards it as a challenge rather than something that he's got to worry about. So Woods today, in some ways, he'll be very frustrated that his touch wasn't on the greens, but it also gives him a bit of a break if you go all the way through here for next week. So the lads better watch out for him next week in Ireland. Yes,
absolutely. Luke Donald is the man who will now be playing Sean McKeel. And Luke, an excellent victory today. He really had to withstand some pressure, didn't he, in the end?
Yes, he's got no flaws in his game. He's not the longest of hitters as Tim Clark wasn't, but other than that, he's very accurate, a fantastic short game, a real control, plus he's a wonderful bunker player, so tremendous performance from Luke Donald.
Okay, so much to look forward to tomorrow. This is the lineup. It will be Campbell, the defending champion, against Colin Montgomery, the 99 champion in this particular event. Paul Casey going well. He'll be playing Mike Weir, and Robert Carlson against Cabrera. Luke Donald playing Sean McKeel. So it's been a fascinating and a slightly expensive day here at Wentworth. I do hope you'll join us for more tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 10 o'clock on Interactive. From us all, bye-bye.